Hello and welcome to another video. So today I wanted to make a video kind of for newer collectors of Integrity Toys, specifically people joining in this year. Some of this could be helpful for collectors who have been a part of Integrity Toys for a little bit, but we are right now in the registration period for the 2025 W Club year. Registration's open until March 19th, so there should be a couple of days left by the time this video comes out. And I just realized throughout my time collecting Integrity Toys and through just like watching live streams or looking at social media and stuff like that, or even comments in my own videos, there's been some that I've seen kind of repeated, and then things that I've seen like misunderstood. So I brought up my handy dandy little notebook and I thought it'd be fun. I have like 10 tips to share. Again, mainly for newer collectors. If you've been collecting Integrity Toys for a long time, you probably know even more than I do. But just to give like some of my history with Integrity Toys, I guess, I've been collecting since Integrity Toys since the 2023 club year. I technically, like my first doll, you can see right here, is the Trixie Mattel doll. But I've been a part of the W Club since 2023. And since being a part of that, I have won lotteries, I have lost lotteries, I have gotten dealer dolls, I have attended a pop-up event, I have attended a virtual like online event, I have attended an in-person convention. So I feel like, and then I've like traded and sold dolls through the W Club forums, things like that. So I think I've collected a good amount of experiences within my short amount of time. And I've learned a lot of things doing that, so I thought it'd be pretty fun to do that. So like I said, I have 10 tips and we're just gonna go through them. Okay, tip number 1 is emails. You have got to stay on top of your emails. So Integrity Toys, the W Club, once you join, even joining, everything is through emails. If you're not someone who's good at checking your emails, like that is gonna be the hardest part about being a part of the W Club. I myself, for work, like I'm good at staying on top of my work email, stuff like that, but my own personal emails is not something I am great at staying on top of. So for me, I have an iPhone, and what I did was I like went into my email and I set it to where when I get emails from the W Club or Integrity Toys, I get a notification on my phone. So that's been the biggest help for me. I don't know what you could put in place to help you, but you've got to stay on top of emails, or because there is a lot of time, not a lot of times, but there are time sensitive dolls. There's a lot of like updates and things about shipping, so it is something to really keep in mind. So yeah, number 1 is you got to stay on top of the emails. Moving right on into number 2, the second one is releases and timings with Integrity Toys dolls. So the releases and timings with Integrity Toys dolls can be a very odd thing to adjust to, especially if you're someone who comes from Playline. Integrity Toys dolls, there are some releases where when you enter for a lottery or you buy it, it's gonna start shipping, but that is actually typically not the case. Most dolls with Integrity Toys, pre-orders, when you pre-order a doll, it could be a good like 6 months away or even longer before you actually get that doll. So you'll pay like a deposit, and then you'll get another email when the doll is available to pay the total, and you'll have like, I think it's like 4 weeks. They give you like a 4-week window to pay for that doll. I'm not sure. I try to make sure I have the money. Like typically when I pay the deposit, I'll take the rest of the money for that doll and put it to the side. That way, whenever it does come, it's like, here it is already. I was already holding on to it. That is definitely what I suggest. It makes it so much easier, because very quickly, a lot of these releases will end up lining up together. So you'll see like, oh, I'll sign up for a doll here and I'll pre-order this doll, and then they all hit at once. Like for example, I have some currently at this time from the 2024 club year. I signed up for the Poppy Parker club doll, the Adele club doll, and both of those are pre-orders and could be coming who knows when. Then I have a dealer doll, the Yuri doll, the Angelic Sound Yuri. She's also coming. And then I have the 2025 W Club doll pre-ordered. So I have like technically 4 dolls. I've paid deposits for all of them, but they could be coming at any time. They could all come around the exact same time. It's very unlikely. Like, I'm pretty sure the new club dolls aren't going to be available until this summer or later. So probably maybe around July, August. But like the other 2 club dolls and then the dealer doll I got, that could end up all hitting at the same time. And that has happened to me before, where I've signed up for multiple dolls. Even if I bought those like deposits for those dolls at different times, they all become available. Like, okay, all whatever number of dolls are available now to purchase. And it's great because you can bundle them and save on shipping. But if you didn't prepare for each of those dolls, then it's really gonna hurt. So yeah, something you really have to work on is getting used to the pacing of Integrity Toys releases. And then on top of that, for people who are just now joining Integrity Toys W Club, you're super excited. I'm gonna let you know, most of the end of the club year is where it's really doll heavy. We'll have our upgrade dolls, and I'm sure we'll get like, after not too long of being in the W Club, they like to drop like one release, like a small collection, capsule collection, something like that. And then in the summer, maybe something, but the end of the year is really where the doll releases get super heavy. Like, that's where they kind of like speed through the last couple club dolls. There's dolly days. They said the the online event this year is going to be around October-ish, same as it was last year for the in-person convention. So the end of the year is where it gets really doll heavy, and it can feel sometimes like there's nothing going on in the club. Like, it's just kind of silent. And that's just, again, something to get used to with Integrity Toys with their release schedule. It's not a guarantee the end of the year is going to be doll heavy, but every year that I have been a club member, the end of the year is always the heaviest with the dolls. So yeah, timing and releases, you really got to get on top of like getting used to the timing. Things are gonna come. You're gonna end up getting all the dolls in the year, but there's a good chance towards the end it's gonna be heavy. And when they do become available, it's usually multiple at a time. So you have to make sure you have that money prepared. So number 3 is I want to talk about the W Club liaisons and the patient care. So this is something I actually didn't have much experience with until this past club year, but if you ever get a doll or you have a problem in W Club or something like that, you can reach out to these liaisons via email. I'm pretty sure in the W Club forums, there's like a contact spot. Also, in most of their emails, there's a bottom spot, just like if you need help or something, contact blah, blah, blah. I have reached out to them multiple times. I had at one point like a shipping question, like I had moved addresses, so I need to update my address. And they got back to me super quick, which was amazing. Then I've even had problems with dolls. So actually my Redefined Luxury Kiori, you can see her, well, part of her right there. She had like the thigh high boots, and her heels were these like delicate chains, and the chain fell out, and I could not find it. I found one of them, like both of the chains fell out of both shoes, and I ended up emailing patient care, and I was like, hey, the chains fell out. I have no heels, and I just had to provide the order number, photos of the object that was broken, and within a week they got back to me super quick, and then within a week I had a replacement shipped to me. So patient care is really great, a great resource to have, and they also are very quick to respond. So definitely take advantage of that if you need to. It's much easier than, for example, I used to collect Rainbow High. I would get Rainbow High dolls with like paint defects, or like once you unbox them, there's like defects with the clothing that you couldn't see until after you unbox them. And I had twice that I was sent a replacement with Rainbow High, but I had sent multiple complaints, like I'd say about 5. One I remember really well is my Delilah Fields. She had like a top that was like sewn together, so you couldn't actually put her arm in it correctly. And I was completely ignored. And I can say I have not had that experience at all with patient care with the W Club. So yeah, definitely a resource to take advantage of if you need it. So we are on to the next tip, and this one is more of a difficult one. This is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and where I think a lot of the drama in Integrity Toys comes from. And I'm gonna start by like trying to hold your hands through this, but I know a lot of people who have come into Integrity Toys come from the Playline world, myself included. I started with Rainbow High and transitioned into Integrity Toys, which now is really the only thing I collect. And with the Playline world, you see these dolls, you see these photos, you like it, you're more or less guaranteed to get it. Like that's how it works. It's like, oh, I like that doll. Let me just run to the local Walmart, Target, whatever, and I'll be able to buy that doll. Integrity Toys is not built that way. And it's not even like it's just not how they work. The Integrity Toys is at its core for many years been a company that functions off of limited edition exclusive collectibles. So they don't make their dolls for everyone to have one. Again, you can have your own personal feelings on that. Totally fine. You're allowed to have your own opinions, but that's not how Integrity Toys is set up to work, and it's not how it works. So if you come into Integrity Toys, when there's a doll you like, you want it, which totally fine. I get it. There are some beautiful dolls, but you kind of have to come to the realization that just because you want it doesn't mean you're going to get it. That's not how it works with Integrity Toys. I myself have missed out on dolls. Again, I use this as an example a lot of times, but a doll I really, really, really wanted was Tantrum Erin Solston, and she was actually a doll from the online event in 2023, I believe. And she was a lottery doll. There were 1,000 and something of her made, I believe, 1,200, something like that, 1,500. And she was very popular. She's from one of the more popular lines. New Face, Fashion Royalty, and Poppy Parker are the three most popular lines, which is why they are the lines represented as the upgrade dolls, or I'm sorry, the registration exclusive dolls. And when a lottery doll comes from one of those lines, they're really popular. They're super competitive. And again, I entered. A lot of people I know, even my friends and stuff, entered, and they didn't win because everyone wanted those dolls. So everyone entered, and only those 1,000 or so people who win the lottery are going to get the doll. Again, that is simply just how it works. If that's something you struggle with, then, maybe you need, I'm not saying don't collect Integrity Toys, do what you want, but find a way to make it work for you. Because we are, as W Club members, we are guaranteed the 3 registration exclusive dolls, and then we're guaranteed 5 pre-order dolls throughout the year. Those are the only 8 dolls we are promised throughout the year. Anything more than that is, if you get it, that's great, but you're not being guaranteed that by joining the Integrity Toys Club. So coming to the realization that every release is not for you is definitely going to be it's a very crucial thing, and it's going to cause you a lot more happiness. For me, for example, when I joined the W Club, I was I had to acknowledge okay, I'm going to see beautiful dolls, because I've been following Integrity Toys for a couple of years before I joined. I was I know I'm not going to get every doll I want. That's just not how it works. And when I came with the idea of, if there's a lottery or something like that and I enter for it, if I win, that's amazing. Cool, great. But I didn't go in expecting to win anything, because it just kind of set me up to be disappointed when I didn't win. And like I said, there has been times when I didn't win, so it's bound to happen. So let's get to the next tip. The next one is one that, again, I think this is coming from Playline into Integrity Toys. And this one is, not every release is going to cater to your taste. So something that really boggles my mind and throws me off is sometimes we'll see, for example, a Poppy Parker doll comes out. I myself am not a huge fan of Poppy Parker. Her fashion doesn't, the era she represents and stuff like that doesn't really speak to me. So I'm just whenever I talk about a Poppy Parker release, if I really like her, I'm excited. That's great. That's amazing. And when I don't like it, I'm just you know what? It's just not for me. But what I've noticed is there's certain times a line will release, let's use, for example, East 59th. East 59th is known for a certain era and a certain style of fashion. And then I'll see people whose favorite lines to collect are New Face. They really love the edgy fashion, da-da-da. And then when East 59th releases with a fashion, they get extremely upset because they're like, who even wants this? This is not it. Why is Integrity Toys, blah, 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 like all these negative rants? And it's like, well, East 59th isn't your style. You knew that before this release. So why are you surprised when it comes out and it's not to your taste? I think that's why it's important to realize that, like, Integrity Toys provides a lot, but there's also a big variety of collectors within Integrity Toys. And I really come to see this when I went to the convention last year, because I got to meet people who love East 59th, and that's all they collect. I got to meet people who only collect boy dolls. Like, they don't care about anything but boy dolls. There were people who, their favorite dolls are like Color Infusion, which is like an older doll line that I don't think even releases anymore. So it's really interesting that, again, there's so many types, but just because it doesn't speak to you as a collector doesn't mean it isn't wanted by someone. So attacking the designers or the collectors who do like it, you're not doing anything. Like, if all you like is New Face, then okay, wait till New Face comes out. Don't expect, like, Poppy Parker to fill the New Face hole in your heart. Poppy Parker's gonna do what Poppy Parker does, and New Face is gonna do what New Face does. So I think that's something that really boggles my mind, but I think it's important to keep in mind. See what you like and just, you know, celebrate or be critical of what you like and stuff, and you can always share your opinions, but don't expect a line that has its own identity to give you something that's outside of its scope, because again, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Okay, so now the perfect segue straight from like the different taste and different lines is I have something that has really come in handy for me, and that is make friends in like the W Club and stuff like that, online, Instagram, however, with people who have a different collecting style than you. And the reason I say this is pretty simple. So again, using me as an example, Poppy Parker is not my biggest thing, but she's very popular. So I actually have become friends with people who love Poppy Parker. Like, if she releases, they're interested. And I've kind of like brought up a friendship with them. They're not a big New Face person. They don't care too much about New Face. So I'm like, you know what? If there's a Poppy Parker release that comes out and I'm able to get it, like I'm able to go to an event or something like that, I could get them a Poppy Parker. But then if they go to an event and I don't get to go, and let's say there's an Alejandra Luna release, maybe they can help me get that Alejandra. So it's like becoming friends with collectors who aren't interested fully in the exact same style as you really sets it up, because like I said, Integrity Toys isn't made for everyone to get a doll. But if you're friends with someone who isn't interested in the doll, or they have extra entry to the lottery or something like that, it can really benefit you. So again, having a variety of friends with a variety of taste only helps you out. Okay, so this next tip is one I actually don't have all the information on, surprisingly. I'm gonna provide what I do know, but it is something when I became a collector I was not aware of, and that is that different lines from Integrity Toys have different bodies, which means the clothing's gonna fit different. And when I first became an Integrity Toys collector, I kind of thought the clothing was universal. I thought the lines were more or less like this line is this style, this line is this style. I didn't realize there was like fully different body types for the different lines. And sometimes you can see a little bit of back and forth, but let's get into it. So for starters, let's talk about, let me grab a doll. I want to grab a doll that's not gonna make a huge mess. Actually, I'll be right back. Okay, so I brought up 4 dolls real quick to kind of make my point. But all of these dolls are from different lines. We have a Meteor doll, a Tulabelle / True Line doll, a New Face doll, and a Poppy Parker doll. And all of these dolls have different body types from one another. For example, starting here with the Meteor dolls have a much bigger bust piece, so their clothing more or less can be put on other lines, but anything with like a very close bust piece, Meteor's not going to be able to fit. So like Meteor probably will not fit New Face because NuFace is known for having a very small bust line. So chances are NuFace, it can fit into Meteor, sorry. NuFace can fit into Meteor clothing, but there will be a lot of like void space in the bust line. But Meteor is not going to fit into NuFace fashion unless it's some type of stretchy material. Then we have the Poppy Parker dolls, like right here. And I actually have this Poppy Parker redressed into an East 59th fashion. And it works because this fashion, East 59th is also one with a bigger bust, and Poppy has a much smaller bust. So she was able to easily squeeze in it, but there is a lot of void space there. You can see like all this fabric I'm able to pull, but it's like perfectly tight on an East 59th doll. And then I'd say the two lines that can wear each other's clothing the best is NuFace and Fashion Royalty. They have the exact same shoe size, and they also the only difference really is their bust, kind of. And so they can easily fit into each other's clothing. In fact, this NuFace doll right here, she's actually wearing some FR shoes right now. Like these are shoes from technically a New Fantasy doll, but it's a Fashion Royalty character, a Vanessa doll. So again, there's a little bit of clothing trading that can happen. Like Tula Bell can more or less wear Poppy clothes, and I have seen that NuFace and Poppy can fit into East 59th fashion. That is not an always statement, but I've had this outfit here on a Fashion Royalty doll as well as a NuFace doll and a Poppy Parker doll, and it looks nice, but it really comes down to it. So if you're wanting to do a lot of like outfit trading, for example, I love the NuFace characters and the Fashion Royalty characters. They're my favorite characters, but I've come to really enjoy East 59th fashion, and there has been a couple dolls that I've switched outfits of. Like this Adele is in East 59th fashion. I have another doll right here that's in East 59th fashion, but it's not a guarantee it's gonna fit. It's gonna be based off of the clothing and everything. So if you want to do outfit trading, definitely reach out to other collectors and stuff like that to see if like they can tell you if those pieces are gonna fit, because it's not a guarantee. So if you're wanting to just outfit swap between all the different lines, that's not always a guarantee, especially when it comes to shoes, because all the dolls seem to have a bit of a different shoe size. Like Poppy Parker's feet are much smaller than a NuFace feet, so NuFace and Fashion Royalty are not wearing Poppy Parker shoes. So yeah, it's just kind of a test it out yourself and see it, or reach out to others if outfit swapping is something you plan to do. We're just gonna leave them sitting back there for the rest of the video. But tip number 9 that I want to get into is one that I've actually seen a lot of confusion over, and that is lotteries. So lotteries are more or less guaranteed every single club year. These lotteries could be for dolls, they could be for events. I think those are the only two. There might be a third or fourth, but I'm pretty sure it's just dolls or events. That's what I've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you're an older collector and there's been lotteries for something else. But lotteries are more or less how that's going to happen is there's either going to be a live stream that is emailed to us where a lottery doll is revealed, or we'll just get an email saying, hey, here's a new doll, or here's an event that's upcoming, and here's the link to enter for a lottery. So what it is it is a right to buy lottery. So how it works is you enter in for these lotteries, you get one entry to a lottery per membership. Some people do buy multiple memberships specifically for lotteries. And so they'll be like, okay, here's this new doll and there are 1,000 of her, and here's the lottery link. So what will happen is you click the link, you enter for the lottery if you're interested in the lottery, and then you wait. Usually the lottery time period is like a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And you wait, then all of a sudden they'll email out, congratulations, you won the right to buy whatever the item was. And if you didn't win the lottery, you just won't hear anything. So winners will get an email and and then you'll figure out pretty quickly, especially if you're on social media. People will be like, oh my gosh, I won, or oh my gosh, I lost. Like people are very quick to share the lottery news. Typically, before I even get the notification that I have an email, I'll see someone's Instagram story and it'll be like, no doll for me. And I'm like, oh, let me go check my emails. So yeah, lotteries are kind of, I'm trying to find the best way to explain it, but kind of like the most contentious part of the W Club, because they're often for dolls that are really sought after and they are hard to obtain. There are not enough for every single club member, and typically they tend to, they tend to make, when they offer up a line, it's like, oh, there's always going to be like one lottery doll specifically, like the New Face collection that came out not too long ago. With the audio-visual collection, we had 2 dealer dolls, and then we had one lottery doll, and the lottery doll seems to be the most popular of the 3. And so there's typically a lot of disappointed people when it comes to a lottery. Again, the convention tickets, those are lotteries, or the pop-up event, also a lottery. So these you just kind of enter. If you have multiple memberships, you enter all of them if you want. If not, you enter your 1. If you have 1 membership, you enter 1, and you just wait and hope you win. And I'm gonna say now, I have never talked to anyone who has won every lottery they have entered. Everyone I know has lost one or multiple lotteries, myself included. I've lost quite a few. I will also say, if you lose a lottery, there is always the second chance drawing. So like these people win, and if they don't pay for the product within that time window, then they do a second drawing of the other people who entered. So there is always a second option, but often I wouldn't hold your breath waiting on the second chance drawing. I have won a second chance drawing before. The Washington, D.C. pop-up event in 2023. Yeah, it was in 2023. That the curated event, I didn't win in the initial drawing, but I won in the second-hand drawing, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it's really cool winning lotteries. It kind of sucks when you lose. But again, that goes back to what I was talking about. You're not going to get everything you want with the Integrity Toys Club. That's why when you enter in the lottery, you're like, hope for the best, expect the worst, or hope for the best, prepare for the worst kind of situation, because you win some, you lose some. That really is just the saying that goes with lotteries. This doll right here, this Meteor doll, she was a lottery doll I won. I did win the lottery to go to the Cellos Out convention, the curated event, and the second chance. But then I also talked about things I've lost in the lottery, like Tantrum Aaron Sulston from the Seven Sins event. So again, everything's not for you, but that is how lotteries work in the W Club. Okay, so we are on to our very last tip, and this is one I've shared multiple times before, and I know it is still a problem, even for some older collectors, and that is dealer dolls. So dealer dolls, they aren't a guarantee necessarily, but they are likely to happen. We don't know which lines are getting dealer dolls or when or anything like that. But when we get we'll get an email saying oh, there's time sensitive information coming up, blah, blah, blah. That's usually a pretty good hint that we are going to have dealer dolls, because dealer dolls are the ones that are competitive and you need to be ready to run for. So these are dolls that are not sold directly through Integrity Toys. These are dolls that are sent to authorized dealers. I was going to call them secondhand, and I didn't like that. So yeah, authorized Integrity Toys dealers. And you can actually find all the authorized Integrity Toys dealers if you go to the Integrity Toys website. And you can literally find, there's in the tab banner part, you can find authorized Integrity Toys dealers, and then there's a long list of them that'll take you to their websites. So what I have talked about in videos before, I have told any of my friends that have joined W Club, is it is a really good idea to reach out and talk to these dealers before a collection drops. Because let's again use the audio-visual collection as an example. The New Face collection that came out, there was 2 dealer dolls and 1 lottery doll. We already talked about the lottery doll. Let's focus on the 2 dealer dolls. There was holographic Novi and Angelic Sound Yuri. So Angelic Sound Yuri was a dealer doll, and she was very popular. And so obtaining her, you had to, as soon as they announced her, you basically had to run. Me, for example, when the live stream started, I already had an email pulled up with the dealer that I prefer to use, and I already had a message saying like, hello, da da da, and every dealer has their own like situation, but the dealer I like to use, they had certain information they wanted listed out, so I already had that copy and pasted, and then I was just waiting to see if there was a doll I was interested. The moment they showed Angelic Sound Yuri, I knew that was a doll I wanted, so typed the name, sent the email before the presentation was even finished. I was confirmed in Angelic Sound Yuri. So by the time I had already confirmed my order, I could see in the live chat, some people were like, oh my gosh, I love this doll. How do you get in contact with a dealer? And by that point, it was honestly already too late for those people who were interested, because they more or less waited till the end of the event. Then they went to the authorized dealers. Then they found a site and they would email each of the sites, and they'd all were like, I'm sold out. Like Angelic Sound Yuri sold out very quickly at all dealers, because that's how the system works. And I think it's just because some newer collectors don't know how the system works. So again, I highly recommend you go through those and you email a couple different stores, and you just like introduce yourself. For example, when I started, I was like, hello, my name is Greg. I'm a newer W Club member this year, and I was interested in learning what your process is as far as dealer dolls, and I hope to hear from you soon. And it ended up like just starting a conversation. I did this with like 3 or 4 dealers, which is what I suggest. You kind of just like reach out and talk back and forth, and you see who works best for you. Like, I'm not going to share who I use as a dealer, because that's who works best for me, who I have a good working relationship with. That might not be the case for you. So I don't want to vouch for a certain dealer. That's why, again, I suggest reaching out to a couple and just see who feels good to you, feels right for you. There's some that are slower to respond. There's some that are quicker to respond. And you can just kind of email them, see what their process is, talk with them. And also, many of them are collectors too, so they're also more than willing to talk about dolls. Like I reached out to a couple, and the reason I picked the one I did is because like we ended up talking about dolls a little bit, and I was like, this feels good. I like this dealer. They're a collector too, and they were very quick with their responses on the East Coast, so I was like, great, perfect for me. So you just find like what works for you, and establish like a bit of a, like, get yourself on the mailing list for this dealer. Get it to the point where this dealer knows who you are, so that way when a release comes out, it's like, hey, it's me again, I love this doll, and they'll get back to you and be like, confirmed or whatever. So again, dealer dolls and working with dealers is something I suggest setting up long before a dealer release, because again, if you want to reach out after the presentation, you're more or less already at the back of the pack, and the time's against you at that point. So yeah, dealer dolls, they can be important. We don't get a lot of dealer dolls in a year, honestly, but when they do happen, if it's for a line that you like, you got to be prepared. Okay, so that is all of my 10 tips for collecting in the Integrity Toys W Club. I hope it was helpful. Again, these are just like things I picked up while collecting, and it is like, I like to share this type of information with my friends, and I was like, why not also share it on my YouTube channel? Some of these things I have shared before, but yeah, I hope it is helpful. Again, collecting is a lot of fun, but there are some stressful pieces of it, but I feel like if you fully understand everything going on, you can have a lot more fun, worry a lot less. I hope you enjoy it. And also, any older collectors who have watched this, or even newer collectors who have really helpful tips that I didn't cover, please drop them down in the comments below, and just read around, see, like, let's all help each other out. This is supposed to be a fun thing, a community building thing. So again, I've only been collecting for so long, so I'm sure there's things even I missed. But yeah, that's absolutely everything I'm going to be going over in this video. As always, you can see all my information down in the description below, such as my Instagram, which is his.dolls on Instagram. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.